Time for the first of our live races now here at Oulton Park. It's the Santander Consumer Finance British Junior KTM Cup race with Barry Nutley and Steve Plater.
Well, this is race 18 on this riveting 20-race championship, and the championship is pretty much between two guys. Mathematically, number 55, Kevin Keyes, can do something about the title, but he would need Chris Taylor, number 79, and Cameron Fraser, number 66, not to finish. And 13 points separates them at the top of the table. There's Keyes, so if you do the sums, he could win it, but unlikely. Yesterday's race was a cracker. Cameron Fraser, Daniel Drayton and Chris Taylor scrapped it out with Taylor and Fraser getting the verdict. They are the front row from James Nagy, Kevin Keyes and Lee Hindle, who didn't let those guys get out of sight, put in a quick lap of 1:59 there. 8 laps then awaits them here at Oulton Park. I'm joined by Steve Plater, the KTM mentor, the guy who's been coaching these guys through the season, giving them the benefit of his wisdom. As the lights go, they will hurtle off the line down towards Old Hall, the first right-hander, and away we go. And already the series leader by 13 points, Cameron Fraser, hits the front from Daniel Drayton, number 34. A good start by Chris Taylor, but he now, with 5 wins under his belt, the number 79 rider Taylor, needs to get cracking in this one. It's going to be a different ball game, Steve Plater, when we get to Silverstone. A lot of talent there.
An awful lot of talent, yeah. We're going to probably have 40, at least 40 riders on the grid from all around the world, from the various KTM RC390 championships. And I know our guys, they're going to find out after this race today who the front 5 are going to be competing for from the UK championship. They're all excited, but very, very nervous.
Well, if you can imagine the best 5 from Mexico, from the USA, from Germany, from Holland, from the UK, those are going to be quick guys. They'll score points for their British title within that race. But meanwhile, there's a job to do here at Oulton Park, and out in front already, Chris Taylor looking very, very good. And Cameron Fraser going with him. No, it's not. It's Kevin Keyes leading Cameron Fraser. And then James Nagy, number 12. There's Dan Drayton. There's Chris Taylor in 5th place. Uncharacteristically, Taylor down in 5th. Obviously, didn't get the start he hoped for. Well, Kevin Keyes and the Irishman with a mathematical chance of winning the title, but he'd need the other 2 guys not to finish in the next 2 races, and I really don't think that is going to happen. There is a chance there he could do it, but there's Kevin Keyes there going through James Nagy, number 12, always a fighter. Nagy yet to get the victory. We've said it time after time after time. Will his day come here?
He's always mixing it at the front. He's one of the hardest breakers in this championship, and always goes well, but unfortunately he seems to get pipped at the post.
Number 12, Nagy, the 18-year-old from Barton-le-Clay, born in Luton, in Bedfordshire, James Nagy, but started riding in 2009 in the Pocket Bike Series. These little tiny bikes that you see, it teaches riders track craft and skill. Kevin Keyes, 55 at the front. Cameron Fraser now has gone past Nagy, and look at Lee Hindle. Lee Hindle on the yellow bike. Lee Hindle looking good, the number 28 rider. He likes it here. He was riding strongly yesterday. He ran with his leading bunch, Steve, and you can't discount him, can you? He learned a lot, I'm sure, from yesterday's race.
Yeah, he's really coming on strong the second half of the season. You know, he's had a lot of bad luck through the season, as we discussed yesterday, but going from strength to strength and learning massively as we go along. And he's another guy who's knocking on the door for the top 5 to get through to the world round at Silverstone.
And now we've really got a 7-man scrap, unlike yesterday where we had 6 fighting for it. Nagy hits the front again. So Nagy out in front, 7 of them. It's a freight train. Over hilltop they go. Number 12, James Nagy. Kevin Keyes drafting him out of the slipstream. That's really the way to do it. You just got to maximise the slipstream, nip out, and go ahead at the appropriate time.
Yeah, massive. The temperature's a little bit lower than yesterday, and these guys are having a good scrap. The top 6 yesterday were having a big fight, but and kind of messing themselves up a little bit and being very aggressive. And Cameron Fraser on the last lap had lost some ground and made it back up, did a fantastic lap, got in the 58s, and we're probably a second and a half slower than that today, but no doubt towards the end of the race, when this hots up and they're all desperate for that race win, we're going to see some better lap times.
You wouldn't pick any one of these, would you? I mean, you'd pick them all. God. Steve Taylor leaping out of his seat, grass cutting though. Terrific stuff, and Lee Hindle stayed with it, but that cost him. That has shuffled him back now to 5th place, 6th place, dare I say, and that really cost him, but he was all over the grass. Did well to save it.
Well, I was just going to big Lee Hindle up. You know, he's gone from hero to zero. He came into turn 1 and took the lead, which is fantastic, but was obviously going too fast. Lost the front, saved it, and straight onto the grass. But in all fairness, a good save, and he's still in the pack for the fight.
OK, status quo at the front. Chris Taylor, 79, the Coventry man, is still in 2nd place, but out in front it's Kevin Keyes. The man from a Farley Counter, well, error from Southern Ireland, the Irishman, and but as I say, repeating myself, for that Cadwell crash, it would have been a very different story. He'd been with a strong chance of challenging. Out in front, though, he can do no more. That's what he's got to do, win races now between now and the end of the season, and hope that misfortune befalls the main championship contenders, who are sitting in 2nd and 3rd places in this race. Cameron Fraser and Chris Taylor, number 79, are now ahead of James Nagy, who finds himself once again in 4th over the top of Clay Hill.
Daniel Drayton, there, number 28, he's been going from strength to strength all season. This is actually his last round. He's been riding the European Championship as well, and he's on European duties, unfortunately, Silverstone weekend.
Well, it's been good. He came into the championship in Knockhill and immediately began to get 5th and 6th and 4th places and really made his presence felt. Cameron Fraser, 66, hitting the front again ahead of Kevin Keyes. It's nip and tuck, these guys, and they are still very much line astern. This is so reminiscent of the early days of 125 racing, when you got 6, 7, 8, 9, even 10 riders. And I used to drop out comments like you could get them all in the back of a Transit. Well, you could almost get them in the back of a furniture van, couldn't you? I mean, they are pretty close. A big marquee anyway.
Yeah, no, without doubt, you know, and a lot of these guys are quite keen to you know, we've only got 2 more races at Silverstone to conclude the championship, but they're already talking heavily about next season and possibly even staying in this championship as long as they're not too old.
Yeah, well, I know somebody who might be too old and be sitting next to you, but here we go. Oh, look at that! No! Oh, Lee Hindle then. This time he couldn't save it, and he's down on the ground. So that, tell us what happened. If we get a replay of that, we'll see what happened. It looked to me he simply ran out of road.
Yeah, he came into Drew's, nearly caught the back. I think that was Nagy, and just away onto the grass. And unfortunately, once you get out there, it's good night. God bless, it really is.
I suppose even on the apex, the far outside of the turn, if you were to crank it over, there's a lot of rubbish and loose stuff out there, not too much adhesion.
Yeah, there is, and believe it or not, I have crashed there in the past.
No, you do surprise me. You do surprise me. Well, these guys are going now. First there were 7, now there are 6. Kevin Keyes, 55 then, ahead of Cameron Fraser. And number 7, Aaron Wright, has suddenly made his presence felt. With all the shenanigans going on with Lee Hindle, Aaron Wright has moved further up the order. Is he going here for 3rd place? Well, he's very much in the mix, but out in front it's still Kevin Keyes on the penultimate lap.
Yeah, only a big lap and a half to go. Things are hotting up. The lap is starting to lap probably a second faster now, and obviously adrenaline's pumping, and this is what you have to be careful on briefing these boys, just to keep them calm and to think about the last lap and how they're going to work out where to pass and where to make their move.
When you're a teenager with a tank full of testosterone, calm is not a word you can spell, never mind act. I mean, they're really at it, these guys. It means so much to them. That 5th, that top 5 to go into the world final at Silverstone, very much the biggest possible carrot that could be dangled.
I must still be a teenager then.
Yeah, I'm not sure what your tank's full of, but here we go. 66, Cameron Fraser, Kevin Keyes, James Nagy, still searching for that elusive victory, the number 12 rider. Are we going to see Nagy have a last lap, last-ditch stand? Let's hope so. Meanwhile, Fraser, Kevin Keyes, where's Chris Taylor? Right at the back now. The chap who's 13 points adrift in the championship. Number 79, Chris Taylor, right at the tail end of this sextet.
My money's on Kevin Keys. You know, he's desperate. Obviously, he's third in the championship and still pushing hard for that top spot. And he kind of got... They got caught sleeping really on the last lap yesterday and finished the race fourth, and he's desperate. He knows he can win and he's desperate for that top spot.
Well, final lap then here at Oulton Park for the Santander Consumer Finance KTM Junior Cup, the 18th race in a 20-round championship. And when we get to the finale at Silverstone, they will be mixing it with the 5 best riders from every single KTM Junior Cup market in the world, including riders from Mexico and the USA. It's all to play for, but you've got to be in it to win it. And look at the chasing through. There's Nagy up to second place. Where's Taylor in that one?
I thought that was Taylor coming through to third. I struggled to see the number there. Yes, it is. They're pushing hard, and obviously Nagy's sniffing at the win.
Nagy still holding on to second then. Cameron Fraser, well, he's out of it at the moment. It's Kevin Keys pushing and pushing. Let's have a look. Where's Kevin Keys? And Cameron Fraser out in front. He's done it again. There's Kevin Keys on the left, number 55. Looking for third on the outside of Chris Taylor. Is there a way past? Taylor strong on the brakes ahead of Nagy. Up to second place then. So the two at the top of the standings are the first two in this race as they bring it home and go up over Clay Hill for the last time. Well, Steve, is it all going to come down to Lodge?
It's all going to be decided at Lodge without doubt. It could even be the slipstream to the line, but it's going to be who's the bravest on the brakes at Lodge Corner. Cameron Fraser's probably the fastest guy all weekend, in all fairness, leading the championship. I think a 13-point lead, and he's desperate to protect that coming towards Lodge for the last time.
Over the undulations, 3 abreast then. Keys number 55 on the inside. Fraser, Taylor making a bid. Round the outside, lost the back end. Chris Taylor goes out of it. This has played into Kevin Keys' hands without the shadow of a doubt. That's just what he wanted, Kevin Keys. One of his main rivals has gone out of the running, and he gets 25 points to close dramatically. Well, Cameron Fraser's still going to be sitting on top, but it all came to naught for Chris Taylor, number 79. A brave, brave move.
Yeah, Chris Taylor, I know we're going to see this again. Here we go, just comes into Lodge, pushing out wide on the dirty stuff, gets on the gas early and just loses the rear grip. Unfortunately, the Metzler could not hang on there.
Fortunately, rider okay, but championship score in race 18, 0 for Chris Taylor. Chris Taylor on his feet. Good stuff, good stuff.
Good to see Chris up on his feet, of course, and fighting fit for that next round at Silverstone. Unfortunately, his championship's taken a backward step, but you know, he's full of life, full of himself, and hopefully he'll bounce back quickly at Silverstone.
Well, he's just dropped a further 20 points now on Cameron Fraser, and when we get to the results and standings captions, we will see just what that means. These KTM boys never fail to please. Confirmation of the podium: Keys, Fraser, Drayton. Aaron Wright there. James Nagy's still 5th, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Tom Airy, Reece Guy, Gary Winfield, Lyons, Adam Phipps. Well, it's thrown it wide open, hasn't it? 29 points now, the gap between Fraser and Chris Taylor. Kevin Keys marching on, almost in the same ballpark as the man in second place. Strudwick still there in 4th.